I'm Andrew Hannaford. I'm going to talk to you about why water scarcity is one of the most important issues happening in the world right now and why you should care about it. So why should you care about water scarcity? We live pretty close to Minnesota, which is known as the land of lakes. Why should that impact you? There's so much fresh water here. Water scarcity is a global issue, and that it's only going to get worse over time due to impacts of climate change, so it will affect every person in the world. I'm credible to talk about this because I've done a lot of research about it and to prepare for this speech, as well as just for my day-to-day life. So I'm going to be talking first about the global impact of water shortages. Then I'm going to talk about disease that is caused by water shortages, and then I'm going to talk about how climate change is projected to change that, to worsen it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is water scarcity and how it's a global issue. So according to Pastel in 2000, around the world there are numerous signs that water we use exceeds sustainable levels. Groundwater depletion, lower non-existent water flows, and worsening pollution levels are among the more obvious indicators of water stress. So this is a really huge issue around the world. Everywhere, especially in Minnesota, we use a lot of groundwater. We have aquifers we're lucky to have around. You can dig down and you can pull up water. It's used for farming, it's used for domestic water use, it's used a ton around here. But we pull up a lot of water and we don't push a lot back down. So the amount that we're pulling up that's clean and usable is far exceeding the amount that is being replenished. So it's not a sustainable situation. Also, issues like fracking in oil sands further serve to make the water sources that we have below the ground fouler. Lots of areas that have been fracked are no longer able to be used for groundwater. So my second issue is about how water scarcity affects the health of a region. So according to Reichsberger in 2006, lack of access to drinking water combined with poor personal hygiene causes massive health impact, particularly through diarrheal diseases estimated to cost the lives of 2.18 million people, 3/4 of whom are children younger than 5 years old annually, and the global burden of the disease measured is 82 million disability-adjusted life years. So not having clean water can give you diarrhea, especially if you're among the most vulnerable, the very old and the very young, and it can often cost a lot of people their lives. This can have a lot of impacts. Quality of life is affected, as well as economically. It can make the most poor regions even more destitute. The third topic I want to talk about is how climate change is projected to make this issue worse. So according to Iglesias in 2006, climate change projections indicate an increased likelihood of droughts. And according to him again, he talked about how climate change will result in an increase of temperature from 1.5 to 3.6 degrees Celsius in the 2050s, and precipitation decreases in most of the territory about 10 to 20% depending on the season in 2050s. So 10 to 20% less precipitation due to that increased temperature. And that's just because a higher temperature atmosphere could hold more water. So it's not going to fall out of the sky as often, which means it's going to have to change. So today I talked to you about how water scarcity is a global issue, about how it affects the health of those affected, and how climate change is going to make it really affect everybody. Thanks so much.